appreciate your patience with all of it. So we're going to step right up. The first agenda item. Stuart, good to see you here tonight. Thank you for being here. So with that,
There's no action.
oh, there is no action. All right, let's start with it. Is there anybody desiring to appear before the council? If so,
I would
please.
like to appear, but I'd like to have you take care of Stuart. He's put in 40 years and he deserves it.
All right, appreciate that. Thank you. So we're going to do the presentation for Stuart. Whereas on February 17th, 1982, Stuart Westfall began his, I was a sophomore in high school, by the way, Stuart. Whereas on February 17th, 1982, Stuart Westfall began his 40 years of service to the city of Tomah as a sanitation operator for Public Works. He became a truck driver in July of 1986 and was promoted to equipment operator on April 30th, 1995. And whereas a few highlights of Stuart's City of Tomah career include a certificate of appreciation from the Public Works and Utility Commission for his 15 years of dedicated service to the city in February of 1997. And whereas, in addition to his duties with Public Works, Mr. Westfall also served on the Tomah Fire Department for nearly 40 years, from February 2nd, 1973 to February 8th, 2012 as a firefighter, and eventually as a training officer, was appointed to the Assistant Fire Chief on November 7, 1988 by then Fire Chief Tom Flock. Stuart also represented management on the Safety Committee. And whereas he has distinguished himself in his training and qualifications for equipment operation and his knowledge of safety procedures and protocols, Mr. Westfall was often complimented on his ability to work well unsupervised and relate any problems or concerns to his supervisors. And whereas Stuart continually acted as department foreman whenever the foreman was on vacation or unavailable. He was proficient at running operations in the foreman's place with little to no impact on the department. And whereas his colleagues knew him as an independent, safe, reliable self-starter who would always accept assignments with a willingness to go the extra mile. Now therefore be it resolved that I, Michael Murray, Mayor, City of Tomah, do hereby express my sincere appreciation and gratitude for Mr. Westfall's dedication and commitment to the city, and congratulate him on the occasion of his retirement from the City of Tomah, and wish him the best and continued success in his retirement and future endeavors. Dated the 16th day, well, the 20th day of December 2022, Michael Murray, Mayor. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much.
Give us a few words, please.
Not much of a talker for that. Just appreciate what you guys do as far as keeping Public Works up to date and things that we could do, and hopefully we made the best use of what you supply us. So
You did amazing things for the city and in lots of different aspects, and it's very, very much appreciated. I guess the big thing we want to know is, how's the honey-do list?
got a couple done.
You got plenty of time.
Yeah, well, that's kind of what I said now, you know. If I don't like what I'm doing, I just walk away from it.
Exactly. There's no deadlines now.
Head back in. So.
Absolutely. Thank you, sir.
You
have
got it.
Have an amazing
Appreciate it very
holiday weekend. Be safe, okay?
Yep, you bet. Thank you. Thanks.
All right, so we'll go back. Thank you for that, for allowing us to move with that. So we'll go back to anybody desiring to appear before the council. Please step forward, state your name, your address, please, and we will remind you that we do have a 3-minute time limit.
Pete Thorson, 225 or 25822 Highland Avenue. I was here in May of last year and asked for some assistance as far as an encroachment issue that we still have out to the meadows. I've been working with Shane and your city engineer, Town and Country, in regard to trying to get something. Where I'm at tonight is the option for the proposed person that wants to develop on that corner. His option expires January 5th. So I would need some sort of a reply by January 1st in order to execute that project on the site. And after that, the current proposal that we have going back and forth would probably expire because the development would probably move on because the option expires. So I asked if you could, assist in bringing this development to Tomah, which Shane's fully aware of, and help keep Tomah moving forward. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Is there anybody else desiring to appear before the council? Okay, we'll move on to the mayor's report. I think the big thing is I want to give a huge shout out to Joe Protz for allowing us to have the special needs Christmas. Always amazing in the sense of allowing us a space, and the space was very much needed this year. To the council members, Sean left, and Nellie, thank you for coming down. Absolutely an amazing day. There's so many members of the community that contributed and just made it an incredibly special, inclusive, and a reminder that Tomah is in fact an inclusive city, and continues to show that. We even have the North American Squirrel Association, who does amazing work for the special needs population. We've got something on the agenda for them tonight. Just the last thing, I'd like to wish you all a very Merry Christmas. I know that we don't always see eye to eye on the council, but the thing is that we continue to move the city forward. I look forward to the new year of lots of projects, lots of things going, and appreciate everything that all of you do. Be safe out there this week, everybody. The thing is there are certain things that certain things can wait. Don't put your loved ones, don't put yourself in any dangerous situation, considering what's coming in. So, with that, I will move on to the senior executive team.
I'll just throw it out there. If there's any agenda items that you want in the future for us to research, that'll be the time to present them to us, and we'll dig into them.
Are you talking projects that we would like to see down the road happen?
Well, I guess the premise of this has kind of been to, if there's something, an agenda item or a topic that you want us to research, that this is where we would introduce it to the senior executive team, and then we can place it on the agenda appropriately so everybody, public, it's transparent that we get them on the agenda. So it really can be of any topic that you're interested in.
I think what Kirk is looking at and looking from us as a council is that concept of, is there something on our horizon that we need them to look into more in depth between now and the next meeting?
Okay. So one of the things that we talked about a couple of months ago was we were looking at some land on the north end of town, over by the Walmart. From there was a couple of acres of land that we approached. I'm not sure what her name is. That has some farmland that we may be looking to purchase.
I don't remember that discussion, Nellie, I'm sorry. It
Right
doesn't.
on 21, right next to the Hampton Inn, that land there. Can't remember who owns that land, that farmland. That was, she was gonna look into maybe having her son, talk to her sons about Linda, I think it was, what her first name was.
Yeah, it's not ringing a bell for me, but we can check into that.
Yeah.
I think it would probably be captured along the lines of what we discussed last night with the housing survey. I'm losing the word on what they brought last night, but I think that property would be one of those that would be captured in that vacant land for development, so we'll look into that.
Can you approach maybe looking at that and see if there has been any decision made on that land?
So we'll take maybe a little bit different approach with that. When we get into developments and things like that, we do need to keep a little bit level of closed session situations. So we're always actively looking for those developments and people to expand to the city.
Okay, thanks.
One of the things that I would like to see in the near future would be a report on where the 17 is as far as commercial development and what they've been talking, who they've been talking to, and things of that nature. And I'm sure that would have to be in closed session for confidential reasons.
Okay?
Are you done, Richard? Finish? Yeah. Are you finished,
Yeah.
Richard? I would like to, take, I guess, see what you guys think with this report of the housing and see where we could go for our next step. I know we're already talking about development sites and stuff like that, but, I think, you alluded to it earlier, but, you know, what type of housing do we need, low, middle, high, class, and kind of come up with a game plan for that.
So I think that would be covered in the long-range planning discussions.
Okay.
Because that is gonna go back to them for any, I guess, review or recommendations from that study. So I think that's already in progress. So I'm not sure that we, based upon what was, you know, talked about last night, I think a lot of those things are gonna fall to long-range planning, so I'm not sure that we need to address that, Mitch, but if you would be so kind, just let's see how it plays out with long-range planning first, and if there's something lacking there, then we'll pick up that slack. That sounds appropriate.
Is that something that, I think there's a lot of appetite and interest on the council that you could just provide maybe like a quick update of where it's at? And also there's probably more public that's gonna watch the council meetings in LRPC.
We are trying to take it to the next level for identifying those properties that would be an infill or capitalize on our existing infrastructure to get our best bang for our buck. So I think that might be one of the things that we could expand on a little bit.
Thank you, Adam, for clarifying what I'm.
Yeah, not a problem.
Sorry.
Yeah. I will say too, LRPC I don't think is meeting, their next meeting's not till January, so just to keep everyone's,
Correct.
we're keeping expectations in line, so.
Okay, anything else to or from the senior executive team? If not, we'll move on to public safety.
Good evening, everyone. You have my written report. I'll try to be short and sweet here. Fire department's at full staff right now. I do have an eligibility list that I'll probably be pulling off of here in the near future. Everybody's heard that we lost a structure at 110 East Council Street due to unattended smoking, careless use of smoking materials. So I was just recently told that that structure is going to be a total loss, so I'm not sure what the next movement will be with the city and the property owner, but it'll be raised at some point here, I'm sure, over the next 30 to 60 days or whatnot. So as for the emergency service building project, obviously continues to move along, if you've been by there lately or not. All the overhead doors are in place, the staircase and the training tower is in place, all the outside office walls are now in place. the plumbers, heating, electrical contractors are all making great progress moving along. The carpenters started the interior walls last week. I'm in there almost every day, and it's just, from one day to the next is just like, it's crazy. I can't believe how much they're getting done. They're talking about hanging drywall in the middle of January, so. They were putting in windows on the north side today, and part of them on the east side, so. Once again, things are moving along. I was kind of waiting to get some heat in there. I got the mayor in here a few weeks ago on a cold day, but now we actually got temporary heat in there, so kind of feeling it out. I might throw an email out and say, hey, is somebody interested in maybe taking a quick tour through, you know? It would probably be like maybe a late afternoon thing or something. Maybe we could set a date up or whatnot, but I'll get an email out and see if there's any interest or not, so. Anyway, things continue to move along with the building. Is everybody getting the weekly updates? Okay.
Yes.
I know they're kind of hard to follow,
Thank
but
you
it's their process.
Yes. Thanks for forwarding them.
Back in November, we had our 12th annual Hunters Night Out event, which was another successful event. So we're going to continue to keep doing that to raise funds to help offset the city fire department budget. So.
Berta Downs wants to know if you can do another one this month.
No, she's out.
She's on the flight, right?
We're very busy working on, I've mentioned this before, all of our training records, all our fire incident records, all our records are on a software called Firehouse right now, and they sold out, and we have to have everything transferred over to what's called Image Trend, and it's a huge undertaking. We're working on it every single day. The end result is we're going to save the city $5,000 a year by going this route, so it was the way to go, and we're continuing to work on that. Obviously, we're just wrapping up our second round of fire inspections. With that said, I was just notified yesterday that DSPS, which is the Department of Safety and Professional Services of Wisconsin, is coming in and doing an audit on me on January 18th, so I'm excited about that. We will be just fine. So I've been through about 3 or 4 of these in the past, and that's why documentation is so important, and all the things that we do and track. So big shout out to anybody that's a homeowner or property owner. Please take a minute and adopt a hydrant near your home. With the snow that we got, and now it's crusted into a big ice block, and then we got more snow coming. It definitely delays our response and ability to get hooked up to a truck and be pumping water faster. So if you got time to dig out yourself or an elderly neighbors or something like that, we sure appreciate it. So we do stock shovels on all our trucks this time of the year, and we're ready to go if we need to, but again, it takes time. So. As for the ambulance service, we're currently at full staff with 15 full-time members, operational level, and 14 part-time. Recently, we had paramedic Bryce Bishel. He filled his last position or last shift last week. He left us. He's from the Sun Prairie area. Thank him for his time here. That position was filled with Brandon Mauricio. Brandon was a part-time EMT that's been with us for 3 years. He'll be a great fit. He's in paramedic school right now, and he's filling that position. Earlier in November, Augustus Stephenson, he also left us, took another route in his career, and that was quickly filled by another part-time person, Trevor Molthrop. He's from the Winona area, just graduated from the WWTC technical college in the paramedic field, so we got another paramedic there. So we continue to interview. We've been just all of a sudden getting a lot of part-time people that are interested, so that's really important. We're trying to fill that third truck because we got two to 2.5 trucks, and we're trying to fill that third truck with part-time people, staying away from the full-time wages and benefits to try to save some money there. So. Other than that, we had an exciting week last week with the snow event. Probably had a few grumbles here and there with some of the transfers that we had to turn down just due to the fact of the safety issues trying to for people out of the city for 12 to 15 hours there. It was pretty bad. We did have multiple 911 calls at the same time, and I can tell you we had multiple ambulances that got stuck. We had plow trucks that were right next to us that were stuck, so if that tells you if they're getting stuck, ambulances are getting stuck too, so we had to get some wrecker services to get us dug out a few times. It's just kind of the name of the game, so hopefully this next storm passes us with a little bit more ease than that one did. So just wanted to hit roll lightly on the Insure program. I'll give you more update on this. If you remember back at the budget workshop, we purchased a software called Insure. It goes back and looks for secondary insurance agents or insurance companies to help pay for some of these bills that aren't getting covered. And there was a great cost to that. If you remember, it was about $9,000 a year. So we went back the 3 months prior when we just started, the 3 months prior. The reports that we're showing are showing that we're gonna get about $9,300 back on our first go around. So it looks like it's gonna pay for itself already. So if that continues to go, we could, you know, potentially make, you know, much more money every year. So anyway, I'll keep you up to date on that. So other than that, yeah, short and sweet here tonight. Does anybody have any questions?
I do.
Yes.
On your report, you said that you were full staff, correct? You have
Fire or ambulance?
ambulance.
Okay, yes.
And yet, as I was reading this, you're still denying transfers. So is it staffing?
It could be. It all depends. I would have to look back, and if you want to sit down, I can go through that with you for each one. But there's, you know, we always have to have, you got to remember, we usually have 2 to 2.5 trucks in town, depending on if somebody's on vacation or not, or calls in sick. And then we always have to have 1 911 truck in the city, right? So if we got 2 trucks on and there's one that's out on a transfer to Rochester or Madison or Milwaukee or wherever, that means that second truck has to stay in town for a 911. So then if the hospital calls and says, hey, we got another transfer, we got to say we can't do it.
So is there any way that your part-time?
And that's what we try to do.
Do you pull them in?
And there's another agenda item coming up, and I'll talk about that a little bit more
Okay.
tonight on why we're doing what we're going to do. So hopefully that's going to solve some of that. But
Okay, thank you.
yep, you bet.
One thing you forgot to mention, you've got your new ambulance in service.
Yeah, I was gonna roll that into the next month. We just got it in December, but you're absolutely right. We got the new 2022 rolled in here a couple weeks ago. We picked it up from Everest over in the Minneapolis area. We're gonna put a few thousand miles on it, and then we're gonna park it. We can thank the Village of Wilton for storing our other ambulance, because we're running out of space. So we got vehicles parked all over right now until we get into our new building. So they're storing one of us to keep it in heat and
So
keep it dry.
when we
So
get the new building, all our vehicles are gonna come to Tomah?
yes,
And we won't have them all over the place?
no. And this was just a fluke because we bought an extra ambulance now and we had nowhere to put it, and I didn't want to sit outside. So
Thank you, Chief. Okay, moving on, Senior and Disabled Services. Good evening, Pamela.
Good evening, everybody.
Good evening.
I should start with the senior center will be closed on Friday through Monday for Christmas holiday, and then on Monday, January 2nd for the New Year holiday. People get, at the senior center, get confused, so when the meal site closed, they think that means the senior center is closed. And so I just want to say, do a reminder that when the senior center, when the meal site is closed due to bad weather, which has been 3 times this month already, the senior center is still open. You can call 608-374-7476. That's the senior center, to find out if you have a question on whether we're open or not. During bad weather days, we are only closed if Pam, that's me, gets stuck in her house or in her driveway. Otherwise, we are open. Last Thursday, the snow fell in front of my screen door and I couldn't get out of my house till somebody else came and got me out. So that's why I say it that way. I do try, if it's closed for anything but like a regular holiday or something, I do try to call on bad weather days the radio stations in Tomah and Sparta. Let's see. Oh, we had the Christmas party. It was canceled on the second Friday, and we just had it this last Friday. And because the weather was not good, we had 25 seniors there, which is good, but it wasn't like 60 like we used to have before COVID. And so we had about 25 seniors, 3 Cranberry Royalty Court people, about 7 Rotarians because they were sponsoring it, and about 50 kids and 3 staff with them. So we had about 88 bodies in the senior center for the Christmas party. It was a fun time. Oh, and I should have mentioned Santa was there too. And it was good. It was a mixture of young and seniors and goodies, and it just was fun. And the kids, the 7th and 8th graders all sat on Santa's lap and had their pictures taken. It was just great. The usage for November, in this November it was 1,322 plus, and last year November was 1,101 plus. And as always, we do the plus because there are people that come in that I just don't get registered on my daily attendance. The Versity, I never pronounce it right, I don't think. The Versity or Varsity Blood Drive was sponsored by Rotary, and it was on Friday the 16th, this last Friday, and it was in our building, the 1004 building, which is empty right now. And so we said we could have it there, and it worked out very well for their setup and what they did. Again, the weather affected whether people came in and gave blood, but the setup was very good.
Are they planning on using that more, do you think?
If they contact us, yes, as long as it's open. I believe in the using buildings, so yes. I just want to remind people that we have some traveling office hours at the senior center, so you can come down to the senior center when these people are here in town and actually talk with them when they're here in town instead of going to Sparta or somewhere else. And that's the ADRC Dementia Care Specialist is at the senior center on second Wednesdays from 9 to 11. Anybody can come in and talk with them about anything you're interested in that. And Better Hearing with Tom Verling on the third Thursdays from 9 to 11. And he's been going years longer than I've been there, and there's a regular traffic that comes in there for that. And our newest one is the St. Croix Hospice Care Transition Coordinator. And they come and she comes on the third Wednesdays from 9 to 11. So, and I like the fact that we can offer that space and time to them so that it makes it easier for our seniors in Tomah to come and get those services. Our next Sunday Fun Day event is January 15th, and that's at 2 to 4 in the afternoon. And our volunteer program. In November 2021, last year, we had 142 volunteers. In this November, we had 228 volunteers. So that is also growing. Our Arts and Craft Fair was in November, and it was success. Our income after expenses was approximately $2,091.92. And so we're very happy about that. In the newsletter, I have pictures of every booth, and then under the picture is the door prize winner for what was donated by that vendor. So all the door prize winners and drawings and the booths are in the newsletter, December newsletter. We had 29 vendors this year with 45 booth spaces. So 45 booths were rented or gotten. And by the end of the Arts and Craft Fair this year, I had 13 vendors with 21 booths paid for and reserved for next year. And we call those our early birders, and I give them $5 off for that. And so we're kind of guaranteed a good start for next year. And a city council person at one time suggested that we try to get interns in to help us with our employee crunch. And we had one that a while ago, but we currently have intern. He started on October 25th, and his time will be up on January 5th. And this is through the Division of Vocational Rehab and through Active. It's that program through Active that we work with. And so we have that, and he works 2 days, 5 hours for those 2 days. And I think that's it, other than Merry Christmas and Happy Holidays. Do you have any questions? Yeah.
Are you still looking to advertise for the building that is empty and the upstairs of your building? Are you still advertising to try to get that rented?
Advertising as in our newsletter and on the windows of the building, yes.
You still, and no.
As of paying in a newspaper or something, no.
Are you looking to maybe do that again? Maybe to try to lease it for 6 months or kind of help with?
I regularly, I'm not routinely, but I regularly get calls inquiring about it yet and offering tours. And some of them take me up on it and get excited about the building and say, I gotta go talk with my partner, and not too often get back to me.
Okay. But we're still out there
There's
trying
still
to-
interest, and we're still showing it,
Okay.
and,
Figure it out.
yeah, yeah.
Have you done any price adjustment?
Yes, originally I started out at $7,500 a month for the 3,000 square feet space. And that was above what the rent was that that Phillips was paying. Not a lot above, but it was above. And I knew that me being me, that I would bring it down, you know, in the negotiations of the price. So I wanted to hit close to what Phillips was paying. And so that didn't work. It's empty yet. So I brought it down to 1,500, which is lower than what Phillips was paying. And that's what it's at right now. And that, I'm told, is a very good price for that
You
space.
said 7,000? What was the first one?
It couldn't have been 75, 'cause that's,
No, 1,750.
Okay,
I'm sorry, did I say
1,700
something?
to
No,
1,500.
did I say it wrong?
Yeah,
I'm sorry.
yeah.
But I brought it from 1,750 down to
well,
1,500.
if it's 3,000 square feet, it's running at 50 cents a square foot, and that's.
It's
That's very reasonable.
at 1,500, I am not thinking I'm over.
No,
No.
you're at
Pricing
50
at
cents a
all.
square foot, that's
Yeah.
very, very cheap.
But if
Yeah.
someone wants to rent it for 7,000, we're totally all for it. It's super good.
Yeah, I'm sorry, I didn't even know that came out of my mouth that way, so sorry. I'm glad somebody caught that.
I was sitting here going,
No.
That's pretty good.
Yeah.
Okay.
So it's still a viable thing, but we're also having to be careful depending on what the report is in January too. A little caution on that.
Any other? Okay, thanks, Pamela.
Yeah, thank you.
Okay, planning and building inspection report is in the packet. If there's any questions, the director already could answer them. If not, we will move on to Christina with the Chamber and Convention Visitors Bureau.
Thank you.
Isn't it nice to follow Pam where you really don't have to make any adjustment with the microphone?
Yeah, it's so nice, yeah. Heading into our kind of slow season here, if you've been to tomahwisconsin.com recently, you'll realize that we just completed our website overhaul. So very excited about how the functionality we have now and how everything looks. So when you get time, please hop on a laptop or computer or whatever and go ahead and take a look at it. One thing that we are doing with our new site is we encourage anyone in the community, if they have community events going on that are open to the public, to add them to our community calendar, and those are live feeding through our homepage now. So as it gets closer to the date of your event, it's on there. We're also featuring and adding city council meetings as well as school board meetings. So just another way that we can help people realize what's going on in their community and be part of that conversation. So just wanted to feature that it's a manual process for us, so that's why we ask the public to enter their own events, and we'll enter city meetings as they approach the date and get closer. I wanted to thank the City of Tomah for all their help with our recent holiday parade. I thought they had really good attendance. We've had, for the most part, really good feedback from the public. It's always, for the most part, there's always something. We wanted to make sure we thanked the city for the help in putting that event together. We are finalizing our area guide. Our ad deadline was yesterday, which means that's when everybody's getting them to us today. So trying to finalize the pieces of that to put it together that we're hoping we will have by mid-February of this year, if everything goes smoothly. And then lastly, just a reminder to everyone, this is the time of year where the big purchases of Tomah bucks are being bought. So every year we sell about $100,000 worth of Tomah bucks that stays locally in our community. A large portion of that is through some of our bigger manufacturers, corporations, businesses making large orders. But a Tomah buck is a dollar for dollar program that can be spent anywhere that takes a check in the Tomah area. So if you're looking for local gifts for your loved ones or employees, that's a great option for you. Any questions for me?
Website looks good.
Thanks.
Thank you, Christina.
Merry Christmas and Happy New Year.
Thank you. Okay, we'll move on to the consent agenda. I would entertain a motion for the approval of minutes from November 15, 2022. A special beer and wine permit application by North American Squirrel Association for the annual NASA fundraising banquet on March 25th, 2023. The annual renewal of taxi cab license for Running Inc., doing business as Tomah Transit. Secondhand article and jewelry dealer license application for Antique Mall of Tomah, and the November 30th, 2022 cash and investments report.
So move to approve. Second.
We have a motion from Richard and a second from Mitch. All those in favor, or any discussion, sorry? All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. Committee of the Whole, I would entertain a motion for the resolution accepting donation of land.
Motion to approve.
Second.
A motion from Mitch, second from Nellie. Any discussion? All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. Entertain a motion regarding the design construction management agreement for Ice Center and the multipurpose building addition.
Move to approve. Second.
I have a motion from John, a second from Adam. Any discussion? All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. Entertain a motion regarding the approval of 2023 public transit lease agreement between City of Tomah and Running Inc.
Move to approve. Second.
Motion from Lamont, second from John. Any discussion? All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. Entertain a motion regarding the resolution declaring official intent to reimburse expenditures for proceeds of borrowing.
Move to approve. Second.
We have a motion from Richard, a second from Lamont. Any discussion? All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. I would entertain a motion regarding a resolution authorizing authorizing payment of monthly bills.
Second.
Motion from John, second from Lamont. Any discussion? All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. Entertain a motion for the request by Tomah Public Housing Authority for forgiveness of share employees' retirement.
Move to approve.
Second.
We have a motion and a second. Any discussion? All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. Committee, the Public Works and Utilities Commission, entertain a motion regarding the ordinance revising ordinance section 38, streets, sidewalks, and other public places, first reading.
Make a motion to approve.
Second.
Motion from Nellie, second from John. Yes. Any discussion? All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. Moving to committee, ambulance commission, I would invite Chief Adler back up regarding the Tomah Area Ambulance Service part-time wage approval.
So this kind of goes hand in hand with the question that Nellie was asking or talking about. Just a little history on the background here. The ambulance service has not given or the city has not given any of the part-time ambulance employees an increase in wages since 2016, so almost 7 years ago. So went out, kind of did a study on what the wages are out in the area that we use our comparables to, and you got the numbers. That's not necessarily even on the high side. There's places that are higher. We just think that was a good rate to start at. It is quite a jump in some of their areas, but the idea here is to attract more of the part-time people so we can fill that third truck, so we can stay away from hiring full-time people and paying the benefits. One of the biggest challenges we have is, people don't mind putting the part-time hours in, but they really don't want to work nights and they really don't want to work the weekends. So that's going to be the next step, is we're going to try this out. We're going to see how things go, and we may have to even increase the wages a little bit more for people that are gonna work, the nights and the weekends, but this is a good starting point anyway.
So, part-time,
Yes.
are the number of hours gonna change?
No,
Yeah.
they cannot put in more than 24 hours for a pay period, so, because we want to keep them out of the Wisconsin retirement, so we don't have to pay
Oh, okay,
all the extra funds, so. So let me throw this at you too quick. So we have so much money in our line item to pay for part-time people, not asking for any more money either. We have enough money in there to cover this. This is just more of an attractant to get people to want to try to fill the hours. Because there isn't a lot of people that want to go out and work for $12 an hour, so.
So what would be the benefit that you would throw out there, so to say? Social Security, health?
No, the increased wages.
Oh, the increase.
Yep, so the increases, and we broke it down in the past. The basic EMT and the advanced EMT was at the same rate. You can see that the current wages are the same. If you guys got that sheet, right? So rightfully so, the person that has more training and more advanced training should make a little bit more money. So that's why we broke it out into the 3 different categories, so.
I'll make a motion to approve the
Second.
wage increase.
Second.
We have a motion from Adam, a second from Mitch. Any further discussion? All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. Move on to the ambulance service recruitment and retention benefit.
So if you remember back earlier, a few months ago, the city of Tomah and the ambulance service received the $129,000 from the Flex grant. And part of that grant that was written was for recruitment and retention. So $22,000 out of that was allotted for this program. So what we did was we submitted that, the state approved it, and now I'm coming to ask for your approval to move forward and pay the bonus structure out that we had. So once again, this is not coming out of the ambulance service funds, this is not coming from any taxpayers, this is coming from a state grant that was written specifically for recruitment and retention, so.
And is required of that grant to spend it in this fashion.
Absolutely,
And it's 21,250, so it's right at the
yes.
22,000.
Yep.
I'll
Do
make
you
a
have
motion.
a amount on that grant?
The total of the grant or the total for this portion of it?
The total for what you're asking?
For this portion was 22,000,
Okay.
and we're actually spending just under that.
Second.
I got it already here. I got a motion from John, seconded from Mitch to approve. Any discussion? All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. We move on to Park and Recs regarding the subletting of the Tomah Ice Center.
Good evening. Mr. Jay Greeno's here from Tomah Youth Hockey too, if you have any questions. In your packet, there is a page from our original lease with Tomah Youth Hockey for their usage of the ice center. What they're looking to do, we discussed it in prior meetings at Parks and Rec Commission to possibly host some sort of junior hockey team. So looking for permission, consent from the council, as long as reviewed by the city attorney, to allow Tomah Youth Hockey to sublet to another group using that facility under their management or supervision, so they'd be overseeing.
So Joe,
that.
how long is this lease gonna be for? A yearly lease?
At this point, it's year to year to see how their first year goes, and then the hope is for an extension. I mean, at that point, you want me up here? Okay, so at this point, we weren't comfortable, since we are gonna be kind of like he said, managing and supervising. They are wanting a 3 to 4 year lease. We were not comfortable setting a price for the next 3 to 4 years of what the rent is gonna, since we pay all the utilities and keeping ice, basically an extra month for them, it's going to be expensive. So this year is gonna be kind of like trying to figure out if we're in the right ballpark or for what we're gonna charge for the rent.
So this year is gonna be like a test year?
It would be a test year with, it's actually written in the lease that we will negotiate in good faith for an extension of the lease at the end of this first season, which would be the 23-24 hockey season next season.
Have you ever had a junior team in there before?
We have not.
Okay. And we don't, I mean, I suppose not, but we don't have any concerns making sure like the high school still has the appropriate access to it and that sort of thing?
Yep, so that has been explained to them. This group is well aware that high school and local programs would still have priority. The ice that they are typically going to use, it would be during the daytime when our high school kids are in school and our hockey teams aren't using the facility. They will have weekend home games that'll be later at night where, and the high school, they will not interfere with any high school games. We will have the high school schedule prior to giving them any ice times for each season. So that's already been thought of.
Awesome.
Approximately how many hockey games will be played in the facility?
So approximately 22 junior A hockey games will be played each season, home games. They play a 44-game schedule, half at home, half on the road. So it'll be 22 additional home games in the facility.
So you will use the hockey room during the day when our hockey group is in school?
In school, correct, yes.
And then, during the weekend, you will use the hockey room also, or is that gonna be kind of for our hockey?
So we'll continue running our youth programs out of there, as well as our high school programs, as well as our figure skating programs. These would be additional games. They're typically later at night, 7:30 to 8 o'clock at night, when we're typically not.
So it doesn't really interfere with what we do?
I mean, they're not really, and quite frankly, we're gonna use, when this team would come, we're gonna use it as kind of a marketing chip to promote our tournaments, so that, more teams will come to town and stay in Tomah to stay and watch a junior game after their youth hockey tournament. So it kind of works out for everybody.
Okay.
I'll make a motion to approve it. Second.
We have a motion from John, second from Adam. Any further discussion? All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. Moving on to item 16, a request from Tomah Youth Hockey Club for an extended use of the Tomah Ice Center.
Yeah, in your packet, this was done actually back in 2008 with, the original lease had September 1st through June 1st, through April, but they extended through June 1st, so they're just looking to extend their use of the facility from the second week of August to make ice earlier to host this team if it comes or whatnot. And it does not interfere with any major Parks and Rec activities at Rec Park, Tractor Pull Fair, the two major users that use that facility when the ice is not in there. And our agreement is they reimburse us for utilities, so, and then for that, so.
So we'll save money.
Well, we'll save money.
Yeah.
We're picking up an additional month of utilities.
Yeah, I mean, not much is used during that month anyhow, but there'll be more used, so, yeah, with that, so.
Forgive my ignorance a little bit, what happens are there playoffs for junior A? Like, if there happens to be playoffs, is there a potential where we'd be hosting like home playoff games after that time, or is this cover like that?
Yep, so there are playoffs that would go March. I don't believe they would go into April. If they do, they'd be the first, but we're not extending into June.
Okay.
This would be, games would start typically mid-September and run through the month of March. And so typically we keep ice until the end of May currently. So we're just asking for basically another half a month so we can.
On the front end.
On the front end, so we can make ice, because per their league, it's the NA3HL Junior A Hockey League, they need to have ice available to them September 1st. That's earlier than what we typically need to, but we need a couple weeks to make ice and get the facility ready for them, so.
So it's a 2-week extension on the front end.
Correct. Yes.
Motion to approve.
Second.
I have a motion from Lamont, second from John. Any further discussion? All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries.
Thank you, everyone.
Thank you.
Done a good job on this.
All right, I would entertain a motion to accept the election tally from November 8th, 2022 general election as called out in the packet.
Motion to approve that election tally.
We have a motion from Lamont, second from John. Any further discussion? All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. Entertain a motion to adjourn.
Motion to adjourn.
Second.
We have a motion and a second. Any discussion? All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. We are adjourned.
Merry Christmas, everybody.
You too, Benny.
Two pennies.
Bye-bye.
Bye, neighbor.
We didn't